Hello ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, my name is Mr. Maxwell and welcome back to another side quest about video games with myself and Exilemagpie.
Hello!
Slow week.
Slow week, however.
Apart from Tarkov.
If
you're a developer for Tarkov, it's not been a slow week for you.
No, it's been a rather terrible week of your own making.
Yeah. Escape from Tarkov devs reverse course on $250 PvE mode.
I mean, if I had a 250, if I was put to pay £250 or $250 for a single mode, I'd want that mode to literally jump out of the console or PC and go and make me a cup of tea. A damn good cup of tea.
Oh yeah. So, if anybody doesn't know, the game Escape from Tarkov, the developers, Battlestate Games, they announced that they were going to release a what's it called, Unheard Edition.
Yeah,
It's called something like that.
it was basically
it's basically like a big collector's box.
Mm-hmm.
And also in this collector's box was the brand new PvE mode that's going to be coming into the game. Everybody's very hyped about this because, well, you know, Tarkov's had one mode for the last 72 years.
Yeah, for as long as it's existed.
Yeah, it's only had one mode. So the fact that
granted, you know, Tarkov is one of the first extraction shooters.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying is like the fact that they're actually adding something other than like new guns and
new maps.
They're adding like a completely new mode into the game. That's like a big deal.
Yeah.
For at least for Tarkov.
And it's what it's what a lot of the fans apparently have been asking for. But
unfortunately, they decided that they were going to put a paywall up to get to this PvE. Now, I can understand putting a paywall up for like DLC, which technically that's what this is. I can understand that,
but I mean, so far so Ubisoft, but.
But I can get it because if you think about it this way, depending on, I don't know what the mode's like, so I have no idea. I'm going to assume it's something in the vein of not the exact same mode, but like sorry, that was my phone. The way zombies for Call of Duty was.
Yeah, possibly.
So you'd buy the next bit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Usually the next DLC for that was usually a zombies map, and that's. I was assuming it was going to be like I don't know, like a £12 DLC.
Yeah.
So I understand the paywall bit. I understand that.
Not the price.
The price, no. $250 is a bit steep for a game mode.
And so one, it's a bit shitty for that amount of money, and secondly, it went against what was promised to the people that had bought the last like major like package deal they had. I can't remember what it's called, which promised all future DLC.
Oh,
all future like content for the game would be included in the money they paid. So, needless to say, because that wasn't cheap in all, I think it was like $120 maybe, I may be wrong, but it wasn't exactly cheap. So a lot of people were understandably, very pissed.
Yes.
To which, I'll let you read it, because I'm pretty sure the response is there.
Iconic extraction shooter Escape from Tarkov has been engulfed in controversy this week after announcing the jaw-dropping $250 Unheard Edition that bundles in a unique weapon, an enhanced stash, other pay-to-win extras, and an exclusive PvE mode that wouldn't be available separately. This news stung especially hard for players who had bought Escape from Tarkov's Edge of Darkness Edition, now delisted, which once promised access to all future DLCs as well as older content. Developer Battlestate Games attempted to extinguish the fire by offering the new offline PvE mode to all players, but only for 6 months. Yeah, that's how they decided to first deal with this. A solution that obviously didn't sit well with many players and Edge of Darkness owners. Battlestate Games tried to categorize the mode as a feature rather than a DLC.
This is EA surprise mechanics level of absolute bullshittery.
This is Ubisoft's. It's a quadruple A game.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Can the leadership of all these companies stop having a fucking dick swinging contest of how much of an out of touch arsehole you can be? Can you just stop it, please? I mean, it just. You don't sound smart. You don't sound fucking any sort of fucking intelligence at all. You sound like a fucking snake oil salesman who hasn't had an education. That is dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
You do not come across as an actual genuine human being when you come out with absolute fucking dumbass statements like that. We're not... Because it's either one or two things. Either A, you're an absolute fucking arsehole and dumb as a brick, or you're an absolute arsehole and think that the players are dumb. So which one is it? Take a pick. Either consider yourself an absolute fucking brick with the intelligence of an amoeba, or that you're so full up your own ass that you don't care about your fan base. Which one is it, buddy? There's no option C here.
So, Battlestate Games studio head Nick Bayanov took to Reddit earlier today, April 27th, attempting to reverse course even further, stating, "We observe your dissatisfaction and have decided that the functionality of the PvE mode will be available for free to all owners of the Edge of Darkness version at release.
Mm-hmm.
When the server infrastructure will be improved to the required capacity," he writes.
Mm-hmm.
Also claims that early access to the game mode is still paywalled because PvE functionality is located entirely on a separate network infrastructure, and the team do not have the required amount of resources to loop in Edge of Darkness owners. Another explanation that hasn't exactly sit well with player base.
I wonder why.
Nope. No, it has not. It's not doing well.
You're just...
Tarkov players will soon be able to buy early access to the currently unpriced PvE mode, while Edge of Darkness owners will get a 70% discount on the mode and a 50% discount for an upgrade to the $250 Unheard Edition.
I'm sorry. Did I just hear that right? They've had the absolute nuclear destruction size fallout of an absolutely terrible decision, and their response is, we'll sell you it for half price.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you absolutely fucking insane?
His words on the DLC statement. DLC, in our understanding, is the major additions to the game, including various functionality and content that are released after the official release of the game as a themed DLC, he sort of explains. PvE game modes are not DLC. But, hold on. Right. 2 seconds. DLC, in our understanding, is the major additions to the game, including various functionality and content that are released after the official release.
Yes.
But PvE is not any of that.
And yet they said, PvE functionality is not possible at the moment because we don't have the servers. So which one is it? Is PvE a functionality thing, or is it not? Which one is it? I mean, maybe.
Right. The reason why they're charging the money for
Yeah,
PvE
because
they're not classing it.
Yes,
as
I know,
DLC.
but when they talked about like the early access for the PvE, there was the functionality
Yeah.
for PvEs. I'm like, do they even? I mean, obviously, I'm wondering if this is in a different language.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Escape from Tarkov is primarily. I don't really think there's any other modes in Tarkov.
It's PvP,
but it's PvP
extraction shooter.
I think PvP VE, because I'm sure there's bots in there somewhere, but I could be wrong. Extraction shooter. Yeah. It's at least a PvP extraction shooter.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, adding a PvE mode.
Mm-hmm.
One would be a major addition, considering the fact that you have to have a completely separate.
Yeah, you've also got to change all the way the AI works and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
you've got to have a completely separate structure and functionality.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's content that has been released after the official release.
Yes.
Right, so that's 2 out of the 3, two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's both of them. That is both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, and it's a major addition to the game. I would say PvE.
I would class
is a big addition to the game.
If you ask anyone who plays Overwatch 2 or had stopped playing Overwatch 2, what would PvE be? A major addition to the game.
Yeah,
I would. Yes. I think a lot of people, everyone, in fact, would class the adding of a PvE mode would be a major addition to the game.
So
it ticks all the boxes.
It ticks all the boxes, but it's not DLC. What? I'm confused.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Pardon. What?
What are you talking about? Are you high? Is that what's going on here?
They wanted basically. See, the problem is that probably what's happened is because Tarkov's had a lot of issues recently. There's apparently cheating going on.
The hacking in Tarkov is really, really bad.
Yeah,
like it's really bad.
And there's an awful lot of pay to win mechanics. Like you can pay for bigger bags and all that sort of stuff.
Well, you can bigger bags. You can also pay for early access to the new guns.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
And so, which obviously which will probably be overpowered when they first go in, and then get nerfed when they get out of early access.
Yeah.
But also, it feels like they've gotten into the habit of just going, oh, don't worry, the whales will pay. We've got plenty of whales that'll just pay everything.
Like, part of me's like, are these the same? They're not. There's a little part of me's like, are these the same guys that do fucking World of Tanks?
I wouldn't even. Here's the thing. I wouldn't even put this towards wargaming levels. Like, this is far beyond anything.
Yeah.
Like, just the price tag alone.
It's a $250.
$250 for the privilege to play PvE.
Early access.
No,
it's early access.
Yes, but they weren't going to.
Yeah, they weren't going to.
They weren't going to release it to anyone else. It was either you buy the $250 version.
No, what I'm saying
or
is
you
now.
Didn't get PvE.
What I'm saying is now, because they've backtracked a bit. Now you're paying $250 for early access.
Yeah, but they haven't specifically said. Yeah, but they haven't specifically said that they're going to release PvE to everyone.
Yeah, no, they have. Well, everyone who bought
Edge of
Darkness.
That's what I'm saying. Like
bought Edge of
everyone,
Darkness.
yeah, everyone's gets it, but like they. How much of a scummy company do you like?
Oh yeah, by the way, you won't have to. You buy this bundle here, and you won't have to pay any other for any other bundles. You get all the bundles for free. Oh, okay. So the new bundle's out. That'll be $250, please. What?
Like,
how? Did you?
We've been saying for quite a while now that there is a disconnect between the people who are running these companies and the actual market they're in.
The thing is, you would think that they would at least remember that's exactly what they said. They can't have just forgotten that. Oh, silly me! I completely forgot. I said you wouldn't have to buy these.
No. What they hoped is everyone that bought it forgot.
But you see, I wouldn't even risk it. It's one of those things again where we were talking last week, where we was like you really need to start reading the room. You really need to start reading the room that you're in. That's the thing.
The people that make the decisions in these companies have no inkling about the actual market they're in. It's the only way it makes sense for friggin' the Ubisoft Star Wars game to come out with a fucking battle pass. It's a single player game. Why is there a battle pass? What is the point of it? There is no need for a battle pass.
It's also going to be $70.
It's going to with $70 and paywall DLC for the only interesting thing that you've actually shown us.
Yeah.
It's the same with Tarkov. It's like, what the hell? Are you insane?
Yes.
How have you managed to get into that position of making those decisions? How? Who in the company are you related to? Which CEO? Which member of the board put you in that position? Because not even on merit could you get into that position by making these types of decisions.
That's true.
There's not even a fucking chance. How on earth is likes of hit?
I mean, at least with Ubisoft, at least we know it's Guillemot.
Yeah, he's a freaking...
At least we know it's him.
Yeah.
He's coming up with all these decisions because he's an idiot.
He's either incompetent or complicit. Either or. Take your pick.
No, he's just a straight up idiot.
Yeah, no, but he's
100%.
He's either incompetent, which makes him incompetent.
Yeah, he's incompetent.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't believe for a second he's complicit in anything, because I don't believe he's smart enough to be complicit.
Because only an idiot, only an idiot could claim.
Yeah, Skull and Bones is a quadruple A game.
Is worth quadruple A. Here's the thing, right? Do you know why AAA is a term? It's because when they were first being called that, it was the same as it's the financial stability rating sort of thing. AAA is like, these guys are perfectly fine. They're great. It's a sure thing. They'll get you money and sort of that. That's what it originally is. Now it's rushed, buggy.
Yeah.
Now it stands for something completely opposite. Rushed, buggy, and potentially an absolute flop of a mess that will cause a lot of people to lose their jobs. Why? Because too much money is being put in by certain companies, and when they put in too much money, they decide that they have to decide everything and make the game by committee.
Yeah.
And needless to say, usually that game ends up fucking sucking.
Anyway, back to Tarkov. So, yeah. What was I going to say? My brain's gone dead.
It's the normality of not even a collector's edition. Not even the collector's edition. It's just a bunch of DLC and a mode.
Yeah.
And they want $250 for it.
Yeah.
Now, again, I would be less critical if the people who made, did the AI for the PvE and did all the maps and did all that stuff. If they were getting the vast majority of that $250 per purchase, I highly doubt that.
No. That's CS:GO, really, isn't it? CS:GO price ranges. I know it's different as in because it's like an auction house.
I know, but
it's
more of
the prices on there are just.
Yeah, I know, but it's stupid. But the thing is, though, it's
just silly.
As with all auctions, if two people are going for the same thing and have stupid money and have no sense of value, then it goes for the ridiculous amount. However, if you get one person, who is very stringent and they're the only one going for it, then it doesn't go for much.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's still pixels on a fucking screen, so
It's not just. I'm pretty sure they actually sell skins for a ridiculous price as well.
they do, but I doubt it's not to the level of 250.
I know Valiant does.
Yeah.
Valiant is ridiculous.
Valiant is ridiculous. It's almost as bad as Overwatch and Diablo 4.
No, it's worse.
Oh, is it worse?
It's worse. The pricing of Valorant, like, oh, Jesus. I'm pretty sure there's a gun skin for $100.
Dear God.
It's bad. It's rough.
Stop buying stupidly worthless DLC for so much money. Stop it. It's not shouldn't be worth that much. Look at just look at Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
I don't see anything more than a $5 on that game. Actually, no. To tell a lie. No, the only thing that's more than a $5 are the battle passes that they bring out. And but the thing is, those battle passes never go away.
Yeah.
They will always be there.
Yeah. You can just work your way through it.
Yeah. And so eventually, because you can actually get the currency in-game, not much, but you still get it, eventually you can get everything by just playing the game. Just buy the game once and play the game, and you will not have to spend another dime on that game unless they come out with a massive expansion.
Which, with how good the game's doing,
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be
there
surprised.
are people literally saying, "Give us something to pay for, please. We want to spend more money on this game." It's amazing. Like, that's the thing. It's like if you give, like, Helldivers 2 is the prime example of if you make a very good game, people will spend money on it.
But instead, we've got Tarkov.
Yeah.
Who's decided that
Instead of fixing the monumental list of issues players have with that game, they decide they're going to release a $250 version of. And instead of holding their hands up and going, yeah, we fucked up massively, we shouldn't have done that, it's not going to cost $250. It's going to cost, I don't know, considering how much of an absolute poor take it is, $20.
Yeah.
Except for those people
who's got the Edge of Darkness.
They get early access and it for free.
Yeah.
Not 50% fucking off. Go fuck yourself. How greedy do you have to be? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, oh, it's just such a horrible...
my brain is still trying to work out how it isn't DLC.
Because they say it isn't.
Yeah, he literally states exactly what it is.
Yes.
And then says it's not. It's not
because
DLC.
they say it isn't. It's that's all it is. It's because they decided it's not DLC. Just like Ubisoft decided we could have released the Jabba the Hutt stuff with the game, but no, we want to make more money off it, so we're now going to charge an extra money for it. So the game isn't actually $70; it is $85 for the full game.
Yeah. 85? Yeah, that works about right.
I think it's $15 they're charging the Jabba the Hutt's DLC. It could be more. And that's the thing. It's like, oh, the arguments of, well, you know, oh, it's so expensive to make games. No one's asking you to spend $250 million on a game. No one's asking Rockstar to spend whatever billions it's going to cost to make Grand Theft Auto 6. Yes, there are standards that they've made that people will want to be held up. But, you know, no one asked Red Dead Redemption 2 to have horse testicles react to the weather.
Yeah.
No one asked for that. There's no need.
Yeah.
No one asked for friggin'... No one asked for Battlefield 2042 to jump onto the hero shooter trend. No one asked Overwatch 2 to be made 5v5.
Yeah.
No one asked for Diablo 4 to have a battle pass. No one asked for Call of Duty to be so fucking ultra realistic graphics. No one asks for that. All we want is a good fucking game that is enjoyable to play, that isn't just a broken piece of shit.
Yeah.
Rant over.
But that's their excuse. The thing is, that's really all I've got.
Yes.
Is like, but it's so
It's
expensive.
so expensive.
But it isn't.
It's a self-inflicted expense.
It's one of these things. It's just like when you see games and they've got got big famous actors in there.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't really like. Don't get me wrong. Cyberpunk 2077. It's cool that Keanu Reeves is in there. Do not get me wrong, but like if he wasn't, I don't think anybody would.
No.
Be like, you know what would be really cool?
Keanu
Reeves was in this game.
If Keanu Reeves is Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one... Probably not.
I think they would if there was a movie.
Yeah. It's also like... when they do have a mass... They at least in gaming, I don't think it falls into that yet. There's one or two games that pull the whole thing of like, you know how Shrek started in the movies, all the animated films had all these A-listers as voice actors and all that, and the gaming industry tends to try, and then but then they go, oh shit, we wouldn't make as much profit.
We can't afford. We can't afford to have.
We can't afford to pay for Keanu Reeves' paycheck for his royalties and likeness. That needs to go on Bobby Kotick's yacht.
Yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, it's not for altruistic or for actual cost saving. It's just so that the CEOs have even more money.
Yeah, so they don't spend
as much on the game.
Otherwise, they all would. Although, to be fair, if it became like a massive thing, if like a game literally sold because of somebody was in it, yeah, you bet you.
Oh yeah, everyone in every other company would jump on it. The problem is that because unlike a movie, which people just watch and absorb it, games are interactive. If your game is shit,
yeah, it
will bomb. Doesn't matter who's on it. Like Cyberpunk 2077 isn't as popular now because it's got Idris Elba in it and Keanu Reeves as Johnny Silverhand. It's not popular because of them. Yeah, they bring
star power.
They do bring star power to it, and I cannot fault Keanu Reeves and Idris Elba's performance in that game. But people are enjoying it now because of how it plays now and all the fixes that CD Projekt Red have done to the game. When it launched, no one would touch it for a mile, except for those that are on stupidly powerful PCs that could actually play it without, melting.
Even then,
it wasn't perfect.
Really bad bugs. But yeah, the whole $70 thing and it's too expensive to make games. It's just
it's a self-inflicted price tag.
Yeah, like you're the one that. Because the thing is, like, eventually they're going to try and get to the 100 mark.
Oh yeah, and then go beyond that.
But the thing is that like, what I fail to believe, and I know that this is true, but like, how do they not think that? Oh, okay, so we're going to be charging them more, so they're going to be expecting more. Like everything else goes along with that.
Because again, they're not connected to the market.
But the video game industry doesn't seem to. I only mean the big ones, like because if you notice, a lot of the smaller devs, like, especially the indie scene, they completely understand it. Well, at least they seem to understand the pricing marks.
You can tell that they're making the game because they like making the game. They want to. They want. There's a bit of love and care involved in there. And I understand, like in a massive, gaming company like Activision Blizzard, there is almost a case of too many people, so there's not a lot of individuality gets lost. But like with games like Deep Rock Galactic, Helldivers 2,
Hades,
Stellar Blade.
I think Was Stellar Blade 70?
I'm saying
I'm trying to remember the price for Stellar Blade. Was it 70 or was it 60? I think it was 60.
The point I'm making is like it's the smaller teams have because they don't have what appears to be senior management constantly got over their shoulder. There's a bit more freedom. There seems to be a lot personal like
touches
to it. For example, the Blooming Helldiver Twitter is just.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
It's like, but what I mean is, you get the, like, you cannot come out and say, it's $70, it's a quadruple A game, and then release Skull and Bones in the state that it is.
And yet, Skull and Bones did.
And yet, Ubisoft did.
Yes.
Like, you can't be doing this. It's ridiculous. Right, what part of like the more expensive you make something, the more people will expect. How do you not understand this? Even if you're not in touch with like the player base or whatever sort of customer market you have, even if you're not in touch, that is a basic thing to understand. Of like, why I'm charging this much for this, which means the expectation is going to be high. The more expensive something is, bigger expectations are there. So if you're in an industry and you're going to keep going and being like, oh well, it's $80. All right, well give us more. This is why games are so ridiculously bloated now. Of just nothing. There are so many games, especially Ubisoft games, that come out and it's just full of absolute bollocks of literally nothing work.
Yeah.
Like catch 100 feathers. Or catch the 22.
At least with Assassin's Creed, that was the only
Assassin's Creed 2.
Assassin's Creed 2, at least that was the only collectathon in that game.
Yeah.
Because all the other well, technically
Black Flag was the worst. Because Black Flag, you had feathers, pages, flags, fucking all this other shit. Then you had buried treasure. And don't get me wrong, like, that's cool and all that.
But like, make
Jesus,
sense for a pirate, though.
Jesus fucking Christ. Feathers because it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I know, but still.
But they keep charging more and more, but they just keep putting in
the same, if
crap.
Not worse.
They just put in crap to fill up the space.
Or the game that gets released is either no improvement on the previous game, or worse, EA.
Yeah, or just
look at the EA
standards. Just get worse.
Just look at Madden and FIFA, or EA. Call it EA fucking football.
We'll call it FIFA. Everybody knows what it is. It's FIFA.
I'm sorry, but if you look at the features of those two sports games and go back, what you'll find is that the games, even though graphically they're not as high fidelity, they get better.
Yeah.
They get remarkably better. Like, for example, and not in just gameplay, but actual features that you can have. Madden 2013, I think, was it 2012 or Madden 2007? Like, Madden used to have create a team. It used to have an actual like really good creator team where it would make a squad. You could basically, pick a logo for your team, make a stadium with a four sides, do bits on like the end zones, like in the NFL, and you could do that and then we make your own like NFL league of just 32 randomly created teams by yourself. I used to love that. I still do. I mean, like I say, if you want me to lose hours into a game, give me a decent creation mode. If you give me a decent creation mode, I will be lost in the sauce. I will be.
You get 6 faces now. Right? What more do you want? God. You're just asking too much. That's the FIFA series. That's the problem.
The FIFA series has been a little bit more lackluster than that.
The thing is, with FIFA, is
But it used to have other features.
everything that's in FIFA now was in FIFA
But there's been nothing.
it was in FIFA like in the PS2 era.
Yeah,
In the
pretty much.
PS1 era.
And Madden has not even half the features that used to be in
Yeah.
their games. Like, and I know some people go, but all they care about is Ultimate Team. Yeah, I know, but I understand that they only care about Ultimate Team, but they don't even improve that. It's literally just a different coat of paint for the menu. That's all it is.
Yeah. And 18 quid for blue. Don't forget that. 18 quid for blue.
It's like, and it's the symptom of like everything like that makes decisions like the freaking Tarkov price tag.
I think. So I bought. Just for a retrospect, right? So I paid. Let's have a look. I think I paid 70 for Persona 3 Reloaded.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no, actually I paid more because I got the special edition.
Yes, but you got to figure with that.
I do not regret buying that.
No, because
it's Persona 3, which is a fantastic game, and it's full to the brim of stuff to do, and it's got replayability with it, with the fact that like you can just romance everybody.
Yeah.
Right. I paid 40 for Dead Island 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love that game.
Yeah.
I love Dead Island 2. It's 40 quid.
Is it the best game?
It is worth 40 quid.
Yeah.
Right? Is it the best game ever? No. Is it dated? Has it got dated things in it? Yes. But can I chop zombies' heads off?
Yes.
Yes. Is it stupid?
Yes.
Yes. Does it know that it's stupid? Yes.
Okay. So, but also like if we go into other games, Lethal Company and Content Warning cost a fraction.
Yeah.
Of
What is it, like $4? £4?
It's about $7. So say $10. $10, $12.
Yeah, we'll round it up to $10.
$10, $12, depending on the game. Maybe a little bit more. But like, they have more content than.
And Lethal Company just had an update.
Yeah, Lethal Company just had an update. But if Lethal Company has more content than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
Yep.
And that's including
Warzone,
zombies, and multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
A game that Activision Blizzard decided to charge $70 for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the situation we have, which is leading to decisions like from the developers from Escape from Tarkov, thinking they're perfectly fine to charge $250 for a fucking PvE mode.
Yep.
I know the reaction to the cancellation of Overwatch 2's PvE mode was pretty bad and understandably low, so I was too extremely pissed to the point where I've never touched that game ever since. But if they had turned around and went, you can get the PvE, but we're going to charge, but you have to pay $250 for it, I would be do you know what I'd do with that $250 instead of buying that game? I would be putting it towards fucking plane tickets to fucking Los Angeles and going to fucking Activision Blizzard's headquarters.
Just be careful, because you might mistake it for Pixar, because, like, I swear to God, that studio looks like Pixar. Anyway.
It's look, the difference is Pixar doesn't have a giant orc statue in front of it.
That's very true.
I'd be and then literally asking for the fucking CEO of Activision Blizzard so that I could slap him in the face. But that's what I'd do with my $250, because fuck you if I'm going to pay $250 for a fucking game mode.
It's like that scene in Family Guy where Stewie watches the movie and then decides, right, I'm just going to buys a plane ticket to Will Ferrell's house and just to punch him in the nuts.
Yes. Yeah, literally. $250 for a PvE, because that's what everyone will be wanting it for. This is the whole thing. This is when they go on about, but you don't just get the skin, you get all this other stuff. No one cares about all that other stuff. It's just the skin. It's just the skin that they want, and it's the only way to get it. So therefore, the price you're charging for that bundle is the price for that skin, because everything else might as well be worthless.
Yeah. God does that.
Yeah.
Cut does that a lot.
The company makes the value. They are the ones who decide how much value that thing is. And again, like I say, if they could show me the transaction of the money that I pay for that exorbitant price for whatever fucking cosmetic item, if a vast majority of that money goes to the artist that actually made that thing, then maybe I wouldn't be so pissed off. But I can guarantee you that is not what happens.
It's not even that. Like, technically, what you're buying is currency.
Yeah.
You're not buying a skin. I know it. Right, so if you think about it, right, I know it seems like you're buying a skin.
You're buying the currency
but
to unlock.
What you buy is the currency. That's what That's what your money goes towards.
To unlock the skin.
And then you can unlock the skin with the currency. So technically, you're not even buying a skin.
No.
You're just paying for fake currency, which annoys me a lot. But like, I can't really say much because I play Genshin and I
you wail.
Sometimes I haven't wailed in a while. Actually, I've actually saved my. The only thing I've paid for is like the monthly wish thing where you get the 90 a day.
Yeah,
that's the battle pass. That's literally all I've paid for. So I haven't actually wailed in a while. Although Arctino, I nearly wailed because literally the last 10 pull, I got her. But I saved up so many gems, and I was like, I'm not gonna get it because I got Diluc, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get her.
And then you got it.
And then I got it right at the end. So like, I'm quite.
See, I got her because I haven't got the last two, so I know I'm not going to get the next two.
So I might end up getting. I might have to wail for the next one. But hopefully I'll be able to.
I'm hoping they're going to go through a bunch of reruns, so that I can save up. But anyway, back onto Tarkov.
Well, the next banner after this one is a rerun, so you can.
Oh, yeah, so I can say that. Cool. But back onto Tarkov, it's an absolute. I'm just wondering again. We offer our services to the board of directors to be the guys that turn around and go, "This sounds fucking stupid.
Maybe we don't do this.
Don't do this. This is dumb."
This is dumb. Well, the only thing that's going to happen here is you're just going to piss people off.
We will save you so much money in lost revenue.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Like, we will be cheaper.
Yeah.
I guarantee we will be cheaper.
Guarantee we will make our money back within months.
Yeah.
Because we will turn around and go, don't do this. This is stupid.
Yeah. Every board in every company should have that one guy that's literally there to just say, maybe we don't do this. Even if it's a good idea, just be like, maybe, just maybe.
What are the consequences of this?
Yeah, like just stop and think before we do things. Because half the time it just generally feels like everybody's just a dude bro, and just somebody says something, and then because everybody's a dude bro, and they all go, yeah, let's do that because it'll totally work. Because everybody is also an underpants now, and they just go, well, we steal the underpants, then something.
Profit. And the thing is like, I know there'll be someone will somewhere try and argue, but company thing that makes this physical thing can charge that. Yes, because it's an actual physical object. You are making pixels that only last as long as you keep the service going. Pixels that will eventually disappear. No one is wanting to spend well, there is some people because they don't have any common sense in regards to the actual value of things. But you will make more money selling your stuff cheaper because more people will buy it. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm too cynical, but I'm just tired of...
I think the thing is we've grown up in a time where gaming was gaming.
Yeah.
It wasn't a social thing. It wasn't the multi-million dollar thing that it is
industry
now.
That it is now. Yeah, true.
It was just this thing
people did to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, and it was just... It was meant.
But the thing is like I'm just thinking like throughout this entire decision process for Tarkov, for the price tag, and also to fuck over the people who have bought the darkness thingy.
Yeah.
pack. How no one, through the entire decision-making process, there must have been at least someone.
Oh yeah, there probably was.
Who turned around and went, "No, dude, we can't do it. We can't."
There probably was, but that guy was probably just shut down and been like, no, we're doing this. Because our player bases are stupid and they've probably forgotten that they bought what they bought. So it's perfectly fine. We'll get away with it.
And we've got plenty of whales that will just pay whatever price we ask them for.
We've got plenty of whales. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
And then they release it and the shit show happens. Yeah. Because, like I said, it's been coming. People are finally, enough people are getting pissed off at being basically taken for a fucking idiot. Now we just need the Ultimate Team dumbasses to actually wake up and
the problem with
I know that's a miracle.
No. The Ultimate Team thing is, number one, that yes, you're right, there are dumbasses. So, secondly, Ultimate Team is deliberately aimed at kids. It's deliberately aimed at kids.
But the thing is, alright, that's what I'm saying. If enough people, and again, also like for the kids, parents need to know what the fucking kids are spending the money on.
Yeah,
they really should. It's like, for fuck's sake. But like the fucking channels that go absolutely,
the YouTube ones they're I don't even know. They're part of the problem.
Oh no, they are a big part of the problem because they are willfully involved in the fact that they get a game mode that does not change, that forces them to spend all their money on a yearly basis on cards that in a year will be literally worthless.
I mean, they're worthless now.
I mean, true, yes. But
what I like the most is, I generally like the most is, so I've seen it on NFL whenever I've watched it with our brother. There's this thing that they do, that EA do with because EA's got this big thing with the NFL, where like, you know how the ratings.
Oh God!
They do this thing where the players generally look like they care what their rating is in the game.
Yeah,
and I'm like, if I'm an athlete,
they do that with FIFA as well, with Ultimate Team, when they reveal on social media they do it with.
Right. But like, if I'm an athlete, I wouldn't give two flying fucks what my rating is in FIFA.
So yeah,
I would be there being like, it depending on my position in football. And if I'm a striker, it doesn't fucking matter. I've scored 20 goals this season. That's a grand fucking.
The thing is with me, I personally, myself, would be basically saying, no, I don't even want to be in the fucking thing. It's like, no, you're selling gambling to kids. I don't want a part of it.
Yeah.
Don't put my likeness in.
But like, they do this thing, and generally, like, you look at them and you just go, I don't think they care. Why are you doing this? I know. Like, there's probably a contract thing.
Yeah.
Which is why the players are doing it.
Oh yeah,
but EA, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Because they want to sell their games to the sports fans. Because they know the sports fans don't really care if their product is shit. It's the sport that they like. It's why FIFA is as terrible as it is. It's why Madden is as bad as it is, because they're the only ones they're the only game in town.
True.
And that's why they're shit.
Yeah.
It's why career mode for both are absolutely terrible.
I hate FIFA. I hate FIFA's career mode now.
Oh, it's just...
I used to like it. I used to enjoy it. And now I just feel like I'm watching cutscenes.
The thing is, if they were actually, like, well done and well thought out and well implemented, it wouldn't be
there was absolutely nothing wrong with the way they did it before.
I know, right, so for example, like,
why am I doing a Mass Effect reel?
Yeah, that's the thing I don't
to sign Saka from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Look, Arsenal has accepted...
It's because everything's in the DICE engine. That's the only way you can do dialogue.
Arsenal has accepted the price. I'm willing to pay the price. I now just have to sort the contract out with Saka if he's willing to come.
Yeah.
Why am I doing a Mass Effect reel and doing a personality fucking test?
I don't understand.
To sign him.
the thing is like sometimes in these situations less is more. I can understand just for not even for immersion states, just for like presentation settings, having a little cutscene of the player coming into the office and doing the shake of hands and then showing up the contract. Like
they used to do that. It used to be like you did this contract, and then later on, if you did sign the player, there would be like the big news thing.
No, that was never FIFA. That was Pro Evolution.
No, FIFA did bring it in.
Oh, did they?
FIFA did bring it in. They would do a big news thing, but the way they did the actual contract signing and what that you did was just like basically it was a screen with you put on how much you wanted to pay them.
Yeah.
Any bonuses that you wanted to put on, and then it would be there. Then you would just send it off, and then the game would be like yay or nay, right?
Yeah.
And then if it was yay, if you'd signed a big star, basically later on when you did sign him, you know how like basically in FIFA eventually you got like a newsreel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was on there.
It was on there, and it was like a little video of the player holding up the shirt. And that was fine. You didn't need to do anything else. Why in God's name? Who came up with the idea of putting in a Mass Effect reel? Where now, not only do I have to talk to Saka, and
which actually in real life doesn't happen.
Which doesn't happen. It's usually agents that do everything. But not only am I talking to Saka now, I have to do a personality fucking check.
Hell, sometimes it's not even the manager that talks to the agent. It's the recruitment team that talks to the. So just
the manager usually doesn't talk to the player until like pretty much contract signing.
Yeah.
Or even after. You know.
I mean, sometimes they do have like a tour in the manager.
I know we've gone on a bit of a tangent, but technically, what we're talking about is
it's a similar thing. Yeah, it's a problem that is affecting.
It is artificial bloat. That's what it is.
Artificial bloat.
Rubbish.
Too much.
So they can justify their ridiculous price for their games. FIFA and Madden should not be $70 games.
No, especially since they get released.
50 at a push.
They get released on a yearly basis with very little changes. I mean, Madden is notorious for having the same Super Bowl celebration animations for 5 years in a row.
And they've got massive microtransactions. You should not be charging $70. You'd probably actually sell more if you lowered the fucking price.
Yeah, if it was 40 quid.
Oh, no, I'd still not.
Actually, no, 30.
I'd still not buy it.
I mean, I know.
Shit. But I'd understand why people did buy it if it was 30 quid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we should move on.
Yeah, we've talked enough. Tarkov, I just don't understand why no one turned around to him and said this was a bad idea before announcing it.
So, Resident Evil creator Shinji Makima stayed at Tango Gameworks 8 years longer than he wanted to out of responsibility for the studio's ongoing games. So he stuck around a little bit longer just to get out some other games. So Hi-Fi Rush came out, and I think that was really
to basically finish the games that he was part of.
Yeah. Basically, he wants to step away from the survival horror genre that he's quite famous for.
Yeah.
He invented Resident Evil. He gave us Resident Evil and Resident Evil 4, I think. And he wants to get away from there and do something else, which is understandable. When you've done survival horror for that long, I can kind of understand why somebody would want to be. You know what? Let's do something else.
Yeah, let's mix it up a bit.
Shinji Makima has given more insight into why he chose to leave the studio he set up, and it turns out that he actually wanted to do it far sooner than he did. Makima founded Tango Gameworks, the studio behind the Evil Within games, as well as Ghostwire Tokyo and Hi-Fi Rush, back in 2010, but departed last year. However, according to a recent interview with the biking YouTube channel, translated by Automation, because I'm pretty sure they're Japanese, he wanted to leave 8 years before that, but stayed because he felt responsibility towards the projects as the studio that were already underway. Based on the timing of his actual departure, it seems he might have begun considering this sometime after the release of The Evil Within. Now, Makima has started up a new company called Kamui. Ooh, Golden Kamui. That's a good anime. People should watch it. It's very good. Anyway, but what promoted him to leave Tango Games Workshop in the first place? Apparently, he wanted to give younger game developers somewhere they could have more chances to gain experience in the industry. For example, a place where shorter development cycles between new games, in theory, allowing more to be developed in a shorter period of time. Yeah, so basically, Hi-Fi Rush. He wanted to make a game studio where people could, like, basically everybody's first game is always something that's like. It's never this grand, big.
It's never Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's not Final Fantasy or Skyrim or anything like that. It's usually just a small game that they can.
Well, lasts like about an hour, maybe 2.
Sometimes like close to 10, depending on the type of game.
Yeah, depending on the type of game.
But yeah, so basically, he's made Tango Studios to bring in younger developers so that they can learn at that level, as well as get games out in a much quicker time.
Yeah.
Hence why Hi-Fi Rush, prime example, isn't a massively long game.
No.
No, it's not even a long game if we think about it. By today's standards, it's not.
It's not, but it's a very good game.
No, I'm not saying
it's. I'm just saying, like, there was the misconception, especially in AAA as well, like you going on about bloat.
Yeah.
Like, not every game needs to be 20 hours. Yeah. Not every game needs
to
be.
That's the reason why it's like $70.
Yeah.
Like, they have to make those games ridiculously long because they need to justify the price.
Yeah.
And like you said, nobody's asking for this.
No.
Nobody's asking for like 100-hour games.
But anyway, that's what Tango Games is for.
That's what Tango Games was originally set up for. Most likely, though, they are probably going to be Microsoft's survival horror genre now.
Probably. Because, let's all be honest, Microsoft has no originality anymore. If they did, they would probably do something.
In theory, allowing more to be developed in a short period of time. This ties into his belief that there are people out there who are keen to see unique games created on a smaller scale. Yes, there are plenty. There are plenty of people who are perfectly fine with...
I mean, you just have to look at how well Content Warning and Lethal Company...
Exactly.
The gameplay loop is not that massive. It's not a massive gameplay loop to get from start to finish. But the games are so well put together that you keep going again. You go, I want to play through this again. I want to do more.
That's not all, though, as Makima is also hoping to break away from the survival horror genre. This is quite a surprise, given how much success he's had with it in the past, having worked on the aforementioned Resident Evil and the Evil Within series, as well as Dino Crisis. Regardless, it certainly doesn't sound like we can expect more spooky titles from him anytime soon, but it's fascinating to see what he works on next. So hold on.
Good luck with it.
Yeah, but like I said, when you've worked on survival horror and your name is basically synonymous with survival horror.
Yeah, I can understand them wanting to like.
It's kind of I feel like it's kind of like Kojima.
Yeah,
when he made Death Stranding.
Yeah, or Zone of the Enders. He doesn't want to make just Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Kojima.
Or just like
which Konami,
stealth.
Yeah, or stealth games, which Konami were clearly just going to lock him in a room and may force him to do so.
Yeah, most likely. Oh God, Zone of the Enders. I wish we could get more.
That's the thing. That's my dream. It's not for another Metal Gear game from Kojima. It's actually another Zone of the Enders game.
I would love another.
If he was inclined to do so.
I love 1 and 2. They are my favorite Kojima games. They are so good.
Like Zone of the Enders 1 is ridiculously short. I think you can clear it in about like an hour and a half if you take your time.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest. Number 1, Zone of the Enders 1 is basically a play test. That's what that game is.
Yes.
It's a play test.
And also,
that was deliberately released so that they could sell the demo of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes,
that was it.
That was the reason why I bought that game.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought that game for... but this was the thing. This was back in the day when Konami would release a demo for a upcoming game with their releases. Like, I was introduced to Metal Gear Solid via International Superstar Soccer 98.
Yes.
Because the demo for Metal Gear Solid came with that. Metal Gear Solid came with the demo for Silent Hill.
Yes, it did.
I know, because I've literally just looked it. Because I streamed Metal Gear for the past few weeks. Just got to the end of it. And I still have the physical disc. So the part where it says, "Isn't Meryl's code on the back of the disc?"
Yeah.
Spoilers. I had the physical disc to look at, the physical case to look at. So I did. And then I went, oh, let's just open it up and have a look at them. And oh my god, this is the Silent Hill demo.
Yeah, I remember playing the Silent Hill demo. I actually remember playing... You played Metal Gear and I played the Silent Hill demo.
Yes.
Ridiculously. A lot.
So you had Zone of the Enders. And then, of course, Zone of the Enders got released on PS2. And they deliberately put Metal Gear Solid 2 demo in that to sell Zone of the Enders.
Yeah.
And it worked. Well, at least on me, anyway. And I don't mind, because it was a win-win. I'm a massive mecha fan.
Yep.
And it was a mecha game with a demo for Metal Gear Solid 2. I mean, how could I not be happy with my purchase?
And it was only 40 quid.
I know. It was only 40 quid. It's great. But yeah, I can understand him wanting to move away from survival horror games because, you know, even like, no matter what creative industry you're in, no one wants to be pigeonholed. Like, actors don't want to be pigeonholed into certain roles, at least most actors. Vin Diesel is stuck with just one role because that's the only movies he can do now.
He's stuck with family. He's stuck with that word. It's not even the role, it's the word. He's now stuck with the word family. From now on, he has to say that word.
But yeah, like, no one wants to be pigeonholed into one specific type.
Yeah.
Because I can see it getting boring. Just doing the same, even if it is a different game and a different IP, it's still the same. Like, for survival horror, there's certain things that have to be in it to be a survival horror.
Yeah.
So breaking out and doing your own thing is understandable.
But I hope he releases something. I like him. I think every game at least that's come out in the West. I'm sure he's probably released some that's only come out in Japan.
Probably.
Of what I know that he's been involved in, I think I've liked all his games.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, we are definitely on the camp of please give us a remake of Dino Crisis for a reason. That's
true.
So, you know, we can clearly, you know.
I generally wonder what he wants to do. Like, what other genre he wants to do.
I don't know. Could be anything. Could be RPG. Could be sport. Could be.
I doubt it'll be sport.
Could be a fighting game. Could be an action.
Speaking of fighting games, have you seen the new Madness stuff? Basically, because it's Evo Japan.
Yeah.
I think it's just finished. But obviously, we get reveals.
Yeah.
Of things. Fatal Fury. They actually show gameplay and characters, and it looks good. It looks very good.
Yeah, the is it League of Legends?
No.
Oh no, ignore me then. I'm confused.
Evo.
Yes, Evo. No, there's a League of Legends beat 'em up coming out.
No. Right.
Oh, is it
Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
Terry Bogard.
Yes. I've been it's the usual excuse of I've been to work. My brain's frazzled from work.
Yeah, it's the new Fatal Fury game that's coming.
It's been a while since
the one you're on about. I think is still only called Project L or Project E or something like that.
It's been a while since we've had an actual Fatal Fury because it's mostly been King of Fighters.
Yes, it's been King of Fighters for quite a while.
I think we actually had a copy of Fatal Fury on the Amiga.
Yeah,
like that's how we're old gamers. we are old. For gamer terms, just to prove how. But yeah, I remember us having. I mean, granted, we couldn't actually play the thing because we only had one button joysticks.
Yeah, so we
couldn't really play the games. But I do remember having a game, having Terry Bogard in one of the fighting games we had for it. Pretty sure it was Fatal Fury. That's how old Fatal Fury is. And this probably has been subsequent releases, but it's been a while. It's been literally King of Fighters.
Yeah, it's been King of Fighters for a long time.
For a long time.
Because it's been King of Fighters and SNK.
Yes.
SNK, which had the characters from...
SNK was literally like if Bandai Namco made a beat 'em up, but just had more than just Tekken.
Yeah.
Like everyone in Bandai Namco.
Yeah. Would be in this game.
Yeah.
Because that's why you got like the load of... would it be Capcom versus SNK, or was it Street Fighter versus...
It was Street Fighter versus SNK, and I think they had a Capcom versus SNK as well.
Right.
Which are apparently not bad.
I
mean, granted, it's no Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but...
We got the reveal of the second DLC character for Tekken.
Yes, it's the Prime Minister of Poland.
Alicia...
Not the actual Prime Minister, but, you know... Yeah, for my limited time playing with her on Tekken 7, I actually liked her. Granted, she's not Kutsumitsu, which I really did enjoy in Tekken 7.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where I was like, okay, she may be my main.
Yeah.
But I'm still Kazuya still, so... Would I want someone else? Maybe, but I'm not disappointed.
Armor King.
Yes, you are literally waiting for your boy Armor King.
I'm waiting for Armor King to show up, and then I will start playing Tekken.
You will Aztec pile driver everyone into the ground.
Yes, because that is the way the world works.
Yes.
Right? If somebody isn't getting Aztec power drived into the ground on Tekken, then the world will explode.
Yes.
Right?
So
Harada, you need to.
Harada-san, you need to bring in.
You need to get a move on.
Come on, we want the boy.
We need the boy.
We want the King of Armor. Armor King. Yeah. So
we got.
I mean, we've got Eddie Gordo, and we've now got.
I think we got some Street Fighter stuff as well. For reveals.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember who. Because all I've heard is the rumors in the news.
Yeah. So moving on, we'll talk about this, and then there's one other thing that I completely forgot happened, which we'll talk with, which kind of goes in with this because it's a live event.
Yes.
Okay. So we are in the UK, so this is kind of a big deal to us because, well, esports doesn't happen over here that often.
No. And 2024 seems to be an actual push for UK esports events to take place in the UK, which we're all for.
Just recently, the ESL 1 Birmingham kicked off.
Which was a Dota 2.
And it how long was it? I think it was for the weekend. It was the weekend. The prize pool, if I remember correctly, $300,000, which roughly makes around about £239,000 pounds.
UK pounds.
Which is not bad.
It's not to be sniffed at.
Yeah. It's a major event in esports calendar, attended by 15,000 fans, watched by thousands more online, and fought by teams from around the world. The tournament centers around Dota 2, which first launched in 2013. It basically, the article just goes on to explain what Dota is. But the thing for 2024 is this is not the only esports thing.
No, there is a whole bunch of events being held in the UK.
There's quite a lot of events being held. I think we're getting one of the big Capcom tournaments.
Yeah. I think there's going to be one of the Tekken World Tours.
We probably
they usually do.
Yeah.
There is usually a UK Tekken World Tour tournament, but I think that there's a little bit more.
There's more of a
push for it, which I'm always for. And then, of course, in November there is the Pièce de Resistance of events that's going to happen, and that is the League of Legends
World Tournament.
Worlds.
Yeah, it's taking place in the London Dome.
The London Dome, or O2 Arena, whatever they call it.
It's called now, but it's taking place there.
It was the Millennium Dome.
Yeah, and then they just turned it into
an arena. Which,
which to be fair,
makes sense.
They need to make their money back on it somehow. So yeah, this year is going to be quite good if you're into esports in the UK. We're actually going to be able to go see some of these big events, if we can afford it.
If we can afford the tickets.
And if you can get there, because getting to London from where we live is not exactly easy.
No. But it's not. It's nice that the UK's. It seems to be that the UK's not
out of the loop.
Out of the loop. It's more along the lines of also not just that though, but also like the UK is not just like mainstream is not just like poo-pooing it and the usual snobbery that happens in especially the media.
Especially in the UK.
In the UK,
like anything to do with video games usually just gets.
Isn't it quaint?
Snuffed out. And it's just like, oh, it's just something for kids, and oh my god, look at the losers, look at them. Well, I think the thing is, I think it's because the prize pools have been getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
like the fact, like this is
$300,000.
$300,000. That's huge, and I think the networks have kind of had to start paying attention, especially with stuff like Dota and especially League. League has been getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and the very fact that they announced Worlds to be in London. I mean, granted, I would prefer it not to be in London, but I can understand why it's in London because, you know, it's the Worlds.
Unfortunately, I think because they've gone to an arena and not like a stadium.
Yeah.
The O2 arena is probably the biggest in the country, so it's probably
that's what I'm saying. That's why they've gone to the O2. That's why they've gone there because in November it's probably going to be raining, so you can't have a stadium.
Yeah, you can't have a stadium. Well, I mean, you could have Wembley, then shut the roof.
Yeah, but it doesn't fully close. That's a lot of electrical equipment.
That's very true.
That's a lot of electrical equipment.
That's very true.
Yeah, no, but best not.
Who makes a roof that doesn't fully close? What architect came up with that? Well, we're going to give it a roof, but it's not going to close. What? What's wrong with you?
All it does is the parts close so that the stands don't get wet. So the spectators don't.
What's the fucking point?
I don't know.
What's the point? There's already a roof above the fucking stands.
Yes, but no, yeah, but the thing is, like, as in all sports arenas, right? Because rain doesn't fall straight down.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm on about. My point is that, like, if you're going to stand right at the fucking front, you're going to get wet.
I know.
You're going to expect that.
I know.
You already know this. People already know this. They understand this. They're not stupid.
Yes.
Right? So either put a fucking roof on or don't. Don't put half a roof on. Can you imagine that? All right, I built your house. Right, I built your house. But there's a hole in the fucking wall because I thought it'd look better. No.
Here's the thing. There are people that actually think like that.
Yeah, they're called stupid architects.
Yes. Anyway, it's really nice and exciting. I mean, I'm not a massive MOBA fan, but it is really, really cool and exciting and nice to see like events like the Worlds, like what's recently gone, and there are further events coming. So it is really, really, it's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to how this can be pushed on further.
What I like about this is the fact that I might actually be able to watch some tournaments at a decent time.
Oh yeah, that's not like midnight
it's
or
not
2
like
o'clock in the
2
morning.
o'clock in the fucking morning when I've got to go to work in the next 4 hours.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand the reasoning behind it because, for example, I don't play StarCraft 2, but you know when I did watch StarCraft 2 tournaments, and because it's basically you are in Korea or nowhere.
Well, yeah, it's the same with me. I don't play League. I do not play League, but I generally enjoy watching people play League. I don't know why.
I think it's because when you're watching people, especially like in tournaments like Worlds, where they are really good teams that do really well. Like,
by the way, I do not have a favourite team. Just in case anybody puts down who's your favourite team, I do not have one.
It's all the excitement of neutrality because you get some really impressive like close fights and you can feel the excitement watching it sort of thing. But I cannot play I would never play League of Legends or Dota or because
I tried Smite I did not do well.
I will get obliterated.
I did not do well on Smite.
I haven't tried Smite, and I haven't. And the only one I tried was Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I tried that. I actually
enjoy. I did actually enjoy that game mode, and then Blizzard decided to kill it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is, par for the course for Blizzard, to be honest. If you actually pay attention, the only esport that has actually done ridiculously well is StarCraft, and that's because Blizzard had nothing to fucking do with its popularity as an esport.
Aye. Bless them. But yeah, UK getting more esport. Yes, please. Can we maybe one day get an Evo?
Oh yes.
Maybe
please.
one day get an Evo.
I mean, I don't think we'll get Evo. I don't about like get an Evo UK, like Evo Japan.
Yeah,
that's
because
Evo
Europe.
Yeah, Evo Europe. Because
Evo
obviously Evo, the Evo event is
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
It's always in Las Vegas.
It's Las Vegas. It is literally the home of Evo. Like everything, that's where its roots are based. That's where it first started and all that.
Sony owns Evo now.
True.
So they could move it around if they wanted to.
I know, but I don't want them to. It's like for people who for those of you who don't follow football, there's a competition called the FA Cup, which is a very old, very traditional tournament in the UK involving every English and a few Scottish and Welsh, and I think even one Northern Ireland football clubs. It is the biggest club competition in the world.
Yes.
Because of the amount of teams. Like, literally 2 weeks after the final, the opening qualifiers start.
Yeah.
That's how many teams partake in the FA Cup. It takes an entire year to go through the qualifiers to all the way to the final. And that is held at Wembley. And it would feel weird, as it did when Wembley was being rebuilt, if the final didn't take place in Wembley. If they started moving it around to all different grounds. It would just feel weird.
Holding it in Wales.
In Cardiff Millennium Stadium. To be honest, out of all the stadiums, can you imagine how obnoxious the Man United fans would have been if it was held in Old Trafford? They'd be absolutely
never going to get it.
I know, but can you imagine how fucking they're annoying as is? Can you imagine how fucking obnoxious they could be if they were actually holding the final of the FA Cup? It'd be unbearable.
Well, no, actually, I kind of would be fine with it because Old Trafford would fall apart.
That is very true. Anyway, but we're digressing. That's what I'm saying. It's like Evo, the Evo event
needs to be in Las Vegas.
Needs to be in Las Vegas. Yeah. It would feel weird if it wasn't there. But we could get other tournaments and that.
Yeah, I think an Evo, they could expand it and have an Evo Europe.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
A la Evo Japan. Yeah. I mean, I think they do kind of have an Evo Europe.
I think it's a qualifier.
Yeah.
It's not like an Evo.
Yeah. But it'd be nice.
It would be nice.
If we had like one on par with Japan sort of thing.
Anyway, right, we're going to move. Since we were talking about Blizzard. Yeah, BlizzCon.
Speaking of Blizzard.
It has been cancelled.
Because
I completely forgot this happened until we started talking about esports.
Yes. And my mention of the fact that the only successful esport Blizzard have ever done is the one they didn't actually push.
So they released a big thing. I'm not going to go through it because it's just the normal thing of we're not doing it this year, blah, 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 blah. We're really sorry, all that nonsense. Right? Yeah. Basically, they are not going to host a BlizzCon this year, mainly because, I mean, here it says of other things, it's not a Microsoft. With Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard having gone through last year, there were some who wondered if it was Blizzard. There's a new parent company that made the decision to not go ahead with a BlizzCon event this year, but apparently that wasn't the case. No, it was Blizzard because Blizzard don't actually have anything to fucking show.
No, because the things that they would have had to show us, they've cancelled.
Yeah, they don't have anything. They cancelled PvE for Overwatch, so we're never going to see that.
I mean,
and quite frankly, no one gives a damn about Overwatch anymore, other than your diehards, right? WoW, they've already shown off pretty much as they can without really going into ridiculousness of like spoiler territory. Right, so there's not much really more they can show, and even then,
a
lot of people
for the next like year and a half and that.
Yeah.
So,
but even then, a lot of people. I mean, granted, this is the first one of the new lot of things, the new way they're going to do WoW.
Yeah.
So,
although
I am expecting hiccups to be fair to them.
Also, the people that were the driving force behind these new WoW expansions, Microsoft got rid of them.
Yeah. So yeah, the hype for the new WoW isn't as big as what they might have liked. Diablo 4, I'm pretty sure they keep deliberately putting nails into that game. I don't know why, but they keep doing it.
Because they want a live service, but they also want the obnoxious shop, and they also want people to spend a lot of money on their game, and then spend more.
Yeah,
they want people to spend $70, and then the price of another game on that game.
Yes. So there's nothing really for Diablo 4 to show off. Maybe mainly because everybody wasn't exactly happy when they announced that. Oh yeah, the DLC is going to be $100.
Would you agree to the DLC being $100? That survey they gave out was like, oh my god, you didn't even need to put out a survey to get the answer to that one. You just had to go.
At that point, you know what? That is the moment. That is the moment they needed somebody in the room to go, you know what? Let's not do this.
Let's not do this.
That's definitely not do this.
Here's the thing. If I was in that room, I'd be like, you don't need a survey. You don't need to send out another survey. What do you mean? You don't need to send out that question in the survey.
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
And we are not going to do that.
We are not going to do that. Diablo 4 is literally on life support at the moment because of all the fuckery that's happened with that game.
StarCraft is dead.
Yep.
According to Blizzard. I mean, it's not dead in the sense of fans.
And
fans
even though they've got a whole bunch of other IPs, they're not doing a damn thing.
They don't do anything. And they cancelled their new IP.
Yes.
The big survival game that they were bigging up a couple of years ago. They cancelled it.
Yeah.
They scrapped it. So, in all honesty, Blizzard don't have anything to show. There's literally no point in having a BlizzCon this year.
The only people that'll be turning up are a bunch of pissed off Overwatch players, a bunch of pissed off Diablo players, and a bunch of Warcraft players that
are kind of probably just fed up now.
Probably fed up.
They're
past the pissed off now, like, well, we got really excited last year, and then the people that you promised were going to be part of this game, you fired. Like, we see the signs. Overwatch, a lot of people that were behind Overwatch and were part of the early development of Overwatch 2 left ship.
Yeah.
And now it's happening with WoW. We're kind of concerned.
Oh, could you imagine if they end up doing that? They've released the update thing like they did with Overwatch and go, so we know we promised you a free update, free expansions within the next couple of years. But we've decided that with all the hard work that we put in, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
We've had to scrap that.
That's a management decision. We have told the people that spent like the last 2 years on it.
Could you imagine? I'd feel so bad for the World of Warcraft players because you guys have just like they have been beating you with sticks for no reason.
And this is Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, they have been beating you up for no reason.
Like they promise so much and deliver so little. It's like,
and then
it's the sunk cost fallacy sort of thing. Like they've spent so much money and so much time with the game, they don't want to just throw it away. I understand that because a lot of you have like friendships, memories, guild members, etc., in that game, tied up in that game, and it is just justifiably very important to them. But like, there's a point where you literally go, can you just stop beating them up?
Yeah, like, and you give them, they give you WoW Classic, good stuff. Everything's going well.
A year after being told, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
because you don't know what you want.
Yeah,
I remember that.
You don't want that. You think you want that, but you don't want that. But anyway, And then that's all going good. And then they continue on after the Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah, because they're going to Mists of Pandora now, aren't they? No, Cataclysm!
Yeah, they're doing Cataclysm.
Cataclysm was like, oh my god, no, you don't understand. Cataclysm is the reason why people want Classic. You changed so much with Cataclysm. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. You know what they could have done? I mean, we know that they won't because it's Blizzard. But what they could have done is they could have actually used WoW Classic as a separate timeline to WoW.
Yes, they could have.
So
done.
they could have changed things.
Yes.
Kept everything up till the Witch King because everybody likes that era. Right? Yeah. So, right, we stick with that. Right, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to go Final Fantasy VII Remake on their asses.
Yes.
We are going to change the ending of Wrath of the Lich King.
No. Don't change the don't change the
No. Right, so you beat Slave. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
But the only difference is that at the end, something happens, whereas Cataclysm doesn't happen, something else does.
Yeah.
And you play the new expansion for Classic the way you would play Classic.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
That's a very...
If you're going to do this, if you're going to go and okay, well, we need something more after the.
I think the problem is that.
I mean, they did fire everybody, so
yeah,
you know.
like,
but my point is like there's other right. If you want more money to come from Classic, right? Because that's what the Classic. That's all Classic's for.
Make more money.
Is make more money.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, and look, people are fine with it, and that's perfectly fine. Everything's A-okay on my side. Blizzard are like, here's Classic, it's this usual subscription thing, and the fan base are like, yep, we're fine with that. Okay, both sides are fine. All good. But now you're bringing in something that people don't want.
The people who play Classic don't like.
Yeah, so like, a good thing to do here would be like, well, they like the way Classic plays, so let's keep that.
I mean, they could basically keep the way Classic plays and do Cataclysm through Classic, but I don't know how that's going to work.
Exactly.
But also,
my other thing there is though, I don't think Blizzard would be able to pull that off.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like, but the problem with that is the same problem with going a different direction. I don't trust Blizzard being able to actually make it work.
Oh no, I didn't say that the story would be good or anything, but like at least the gameplay would be what.
Yeah,
people
no,
wanted.
but the thing is though, is that obviously the new direction would still have to include stuff like raids and bosses and all that. And
yeah.
I like they've been doing everything based on the expansions beforehand. True. I don't believe I'll trust Blizzard to actually know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes.
If they go into uncharted waters. I haven't even got a fucking clue. But yeah, they've got nothing to show.
Yeah, so there's no point.
There's no point in having it, and it is their own fault. They like I said, they cancelled the PvE. The Overwatch, the vast majority of the remaining Overwatch 2 fan base are not happy. It seems to be across the board. It's like, usually it's like the high tiers are not happy, but the lower ranks are happy, and then vice versa. The high tiers are happy, and the low. No, this seems to be across the fucking board. Yeah. No one's happy. And from what I've seen on like people talking about like the meta and all that, they've literally backed themselves into a corner.
Really?
Regarding because at the moment apparently Orisa is just broken as hell.
Yeah. And
the problem is that if Orisa is broken, their fix is usually nerf her to oblivion. But then then apparently Hog is apparently buffed to a point where if there isn't an Orisa, Hog's broken.
Yeah.
And so it's literally a cycle of it's going through tank after tank.
Overwatch 2 is the perfect example of absolute mismanagement.
100%.
That game is fucked. Nothing.
I think they've tweaked the numbers on all the characters to a point where literally they can't.
Overwatch is
do it anymore.
When we had this good discussion about Stellar Blade. when it was offline. So when we talked about like people care, companies care too much about representation.
Yes.
And what things look like and what things are. Overwatch is the epitome of that. That game is fucked. That game was fucked in Overwatch 1 because they didn't fix... When there was problems, they didn't fix things.
Well, also, they left the game to die.
And they left the game to die, right? But during all that, but oh yeah, our game's absolutely busted. But it's okay because Soldier 76 is gay.
No one cares.
No one gives a shit. All they want is their game to work. They want the character that they are to actually do the thing that their character's supposed to do.
And to be fun to play as.
Yeah, and to be fun to play as. They do not want to be... They don't want to be Soldier 76 and get absolutely bitched by a Sombra. Yeah. Outshot by a Sombra.
While healing.
Like, no, nobody wants that. Fix that. Nobody gives a flying fuck if your characters are gay.
No. Make
them gay. That's perfectly fine. But nobody cares.
I think it's not necessarily the fact that they called this... They announced that Soldier 76 was gay. It was the fact that it was clearly virtue signaling.
Well, yeah.
It's like, look, it's praise us because Soldier...
It's not just that, though. Like, yeah. Virtue signaling, I can deal with.
I know, but...
that is a byproduct of, like, everything that every company does.
What I mean is that instead of fixing the game, they were too busy virtue signaling.
Yeah.
That's what I was meaning.
But they use virtue signaling as a thing of, like, oh, yeah, we know the game's busted.
Yeah.
But look at the new hero.
That's what I mean. That instead of dealing with actual problems the game has, they go, oh, like us because Soldier 76 is gay. We don't look. Oh, he's gay. Cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for Soldier 76. He
no one gives a shit.
He bats for the same team. That's great for him.
The annoying thing is like they do this. Right? All companies do this.
Yeah.
So it's not just Blizzard.
I mean,
every Overwatch as a prime.
Every Pride month. Every company
Overwatch is just a prime example of caring about the outside view and not what's going on inside.
Caring about the superficial image of your game instead of the actual game.
Yeah, that. Because if they actually gave a shit about Overwatch, they would fix the problems. Yeah. But they don't. Instead, what they do is they come out with another. They'll come out with a trans character, or they come out with another woman, or they come out with this, and they parade that as that's the thing that people care about. It's like no, you could have made that guy a dude, and nobody would give a shit.
Yeah.
No one cares about that shit. People just want their game to fix.
Are they? Is it nice to have them? Yeah. You know, we are in 2024. Yeah.
Right? I do not give a flying fuck.
I know.
About any of this shit. Put them in the game. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like, don't parade them around like there's something super special about them. They're not. There's nothing special. Right? There is absolutely no need for a fucking parade when your game is broken.
Yeah. Fix your game first. If Overwatch 2 was flying on all cylinders, was a perfect game, and everyone was loving it, then have your parade, because not only are you celebrating this diversity, but you're celebrating the success of the game, and people can join in on that success.
I don't care.
But yeah, for example, when it comes off like that, when they do go on about like, so Soldier 76 is gay, so you know you should like us because of that. I'm like, no, because it's disingenuous as fuck, and I don't like it. You are basically trying to score brownie points.
You're using the LGBTQ community,
to score brownie points,
and it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's disingenuous.
It's annoying.
It's insulting, and it really does basically state to your player base that we don't give a shit about you.
Exactly.
And
it annoys me tenfold.
It does. But what annoys me the most is that if you actually cared about your player base, you'd probably know that quite a lot of the player base, a significant portion of them, are probably gay, trans, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But
that's my point. That is my point here. Is like, have these things. Fine, have their sexuality in the game, but like fix your fucking game.
Yeah. That you should be focusing on making like the game work.
Like they
as
have,
intended.
like League has characters that are gay.
Yeah.
Has trans characters. Their game works.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you don't see people being like, "Oh my god, I'm not going to play League anymore."
No, it has a gay character.
It has a gay character. No, that doesn't happen. And if it does happen, I don't see it anywhere. It's probably a very small, minute character. The same with Overwatch.
Yeah.
The difference here is that when Overwatch does it, or Blizzard do it, like you literally see through it. Like you just see through it. You go, okay, what the fuck have you done now? What have you done this time?
I'm pretty sure Soldier 76 was short, not long after the announcement that they'd cancelled PvE.
It was just before.
Oh, was that just before?
Just before.
Yeah. So yeah. That's another thing. It undermines that whole message you were trying to make,
and
because it shows how shallow it actually is.
It's and I don't know what's going on with WoW. I can't explain what the fuck they've done to WoW. I don't understand how you can turn a literal cash cow. And all you had to do was just do the same thing.
All you had to do... No. What they did is, they did... they did Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of people liked. But then they did Warriors of Draenor.
Yeah.
Which no one liked.
Yeah. Right? I don't understand how you couldn't have just.
And I think the problem with
well, the other problem with WoW is like they clearly had a story that went from before World of Warcraft, because obviously Warcraft 1 to
Warcraft 3
lead into World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Right?
Lead into World of Warcraft.
So they clearly had a story, and they clearly knew where they were going up to after the Rich King.
Yeah.
They clearly did not know where they were going afterwards.
I know, but the thing is also is like after not Burning Legion, but the second one involving the Burning Legion.
I don't know.
Which I can't remember. It's the one which basically Sylvanas betrays.
It's where Sylvanas becomes the bad guy.
Yeah. At the end.
But she's not really the bad guy. She's getting you ready for the next bad guy.
Yeah, which is Worf.
Which
was Battle for Azeroth.
Which is Battle for Azeroth.
And
then the jailer comes around, and it turns out he's not the bad guy. He's just preparing.
I think that's what a lot of people have been really pissed off about. Is the fact
that's because they don't have a plan. They don't know what they're doing. They're doing it by the seat of the pants.
Which is why a lot of people were excited, and some still are, and understandably so, because the next 3 expansions are all tied in together. And also, they're actually going to, deal with the plot point at the end of the last Burning.
Oh, the giant sword.
The giant sword in the in the planet, because that's not going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
That's been a loose plot end since before the Battle of Azeroth, and I guarantee you, because this is what I thought when they first started talking about Battle of Azeroth. I thought, it's going to be because what has happened is that has become a very important place. Either it's made a lot of area uninhabitable, which is what would happen when a sword the size of a planet plunges into a planet, or for whatever reason it is something that is important for them to have either a resource or something, right? And they were going to fight over it. The Horde and the Alliance were going to fight over it. And no, it turns into... I mean, technically, it was a plot point over it, over the battle, but it turned into Sylvanas is evil. Because she commits...
commits genocide.
She commits attempted genocide.
She decided to go the Gears of War route.
Yes, she decided to basically burn down the homeland of the Wood Elves, and then kill.
Yeah, but yeah, with WoW, I don't know what's going on with WoW. I don't understand. But it's fine. Diablo, they've just killed Diablo. They decided, you know what, Diablo needs a mobile game. That's what happened. That's literally what happened.
And then they released, we're going to release Diablo 4 as a live service without any of the live service things, and also the shop just as egregious as Overwatch 2.
Well, yeah, because Diablo 4 is a mobile game. So Diablo is now a mobile game.
And this in the year, where a certain game called Path of Exile 2, which is getting ridiculously hyped up for, not by the developers, I may add, like just from the developers showing this is the cool shit you can do.
Yeah, this is all the cool shit that
all
you can
your
do in this
spell,
game.
like for example, you know how annoying it is to switch out items so that you can use different spells? No, you basically keybind a spell attack, and it will automatically switch to that skill set that you've pre-thingied for that spell. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. My mind was blown when they showed that, like the auto switching for different spell attacks and different types.
Yeah, the fact that you don't have to go into a menu to do it.
I know.
You can just press a button
and it
you
just automatically switches skill points and everything. I'm like,
you instantly switch class,
like,
basically.
Path of Exile 2 is coming. It is free to play, which means a lot more people are going to get Path of Exile 2 solely on that. And Diablo 4 decides to come out like a damn squid.
Very grey. It came out
extremely grey. Very little definition between the player, the scenery, and the monsters. And just with a end content that
Hey, I will give Diablo 4 this. They did manage to put more enemies into the field.
Yeah, no, but if they blend into
it does actually feel like a Diablo game. Yeah.
But if they blend into the background, how do you know?
That's true.
How do you know there's more?
Well, that's the thing. They introduced a new enemy. It's called the Chameleon.
Just blends into the background.
It just blends into the background. You don't actually know it's there. You're just wildly swinging anyway, so it's and then the one bit of hope there, everybody was like, okay, so let's have a look at this, was the survival game, and they completely cancelled it. So, yeah, Blizzard, like every time I look at Blizzard and I go, okay, things are looking up. Things are looking up. Because it generally was. It generally was. Just before the Overwatch 2. Just before the Overwatch 2 cancellation. It generally was looking okay. Everything was starting to look...
For WoW, the last BlizzCon, they did everything right to get people excited. Because
Diablo 4, the new season they announced, was pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it didn't really do much, but
it sounded cool. It
sounded cool.
And then they released it.
And then they released it and realised, oh shit, no one's actually playing Diablo 4. Overwatch, they just, I mean, I think that was the shortest Overwatch panel I think I've ever seen in my life, to be fair. I think they just showed off the new tank dude.
Oh, is that the BlizzCon? There was
the they basically just showed off the tank dude and I think a new map.
Yeah,
and that was really about it. But Overwatch at this point was like it was getting back.
Yeah,
it was coming back to what we know. Well, kind of.
Yeah,
it was getting back up there, being like at least it was fun. You know, at least it was focusing more on the fun and not the meta side, like the esports side. It was finally getting back to being like, okay, so this is actually what Overwatch is supposed to be. And now, just everything is. It feels like everything's gone backwards.
Yeah.
Ever since the announcement of people being fired.
Yeah.
And when you look at the games of like the quality of the games that they've dropped, and you go, yeah, people definitely got fired.
Yeah.
People definitely got fired playing when they were making this game.
Well, in the middle of making this, they got fired.
Yeah, they got fired. And yeah, Blizzard's back in that boat of just being like, oh god, it's a Blizzard game. You know?
Which used to be a good thing. Now it's not.
Yeah, it used to be a sign of quality. And now you're just like, oh fuck.
It's a Blizzard game.
It's the meme of Gerald in the street going, fuck.
Or CJ and Gareth thought, oh shit,
here we go again. Yeah, it's that. Every time you hear Blizzard, every time I hear Blizzard now, it's never.
What have you done now?
News. I'm literally like, okay, what have you done this time? I'm literally for everything that's been going on with Blizzard now. I'm waiting for another character to come out and be gay, or they're trans, or something. I'm waiting because that's
followed by an announcement of another cancellation. Or something.
Because that's their method now. Is we know we've got all these bad news things, but Lilith's actually trans. So it's okay. You can. Like
I know
us.
the Lord makes no sense, but Kiriko's gay.
Yeah,
Kiriko's gay.
She's also supposed to be younger than the two, but she's actually older than them. Wait, what?
No, she's supposed to be much younger than than Hanzo and.
But actually, she's around about the same age.
Genji. But she trained and went to the same school as them.
Well, when they were kids.
When they were kids, which makes no sense. Well, actually, no. She's in. Oh wait. How do we fix it? Oh no, she's an actual kitsune. There she go. We fixed it. There we go. So she's an actual fox spirit.
Yeah, that's what she.
That's
is.
what you're now saying. In which case, she's the weakest fox spirit that's ever existed. Because all she can do is heal someone slightly and throw.
I'm waiting for it because it's what they do now. They announce something bad and then they go, but you've got to like us because pride.
X person is this.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, stop it.
Yeah, just
stop
fix
using that community
as a shield
to get brownie points. Just stop doing it. It's not nice.
And,
it's horrible.
And maybe
announce something bad, and yes, people will be disappointed. Of course, people are going to be disappointed.
Maybe when you decide to cancel almost everything you're developing,
yeah,
maybe have a step back and go, will we have it?
I generally start. I need Blizzard to take a step back and be like that Mitchell and Webb scene where they go, are we the bad guys?
Are we the bad guys?
Are we the bad guys here? I need Blizzard to do that because you are the bad people here. Stop using a community of your fan base as shields, please.
I don't think there's been a single good thing coming from Activision Blizzard for at least 6 months.
Hey, we got Nicki Minaj in COD, all right?
Yes, and
Snoop Dogg,
and then do you know what we had? The shortest ever Call of Duty campaign ever. That gave actual control of of combat. Actual player control was less than 2 hours.
Yes,
that is shocking.
Yes.
Like I know Call of Duty is never known for the most longest campaigns, but I would expect at least a good 4 to 5 hours, at least, and that's if you're very good at the game.
Mm.
Oh my god, Activision Blizzard at the moment. Activision Blizzard is in such an absolute state, and it has been for a while.
It's perfectly fine. Don't worry. Microsoft's going to come in and right the ship. I say that with no sarcastic tone.
At all. But yeah, for those... on the other hand, right...
They're going to do it. This is how they're going to do it, right? This is how Microsoft are going to do it. They're going to do it with the hands-off approach.
Yes. They're going to do absolutely nothing. And taking all the Call of Duty money.
I generally like the fact that, Redfall came out and they're like, well, we've got a hands-off approach, right? And okay, I get where you're coming from. I understand that. It's still, you still decided to release it, so the fault is not
solely on.
It's not solely on you. You don't get away with it, but I understand where you're coming from. You want the artistic design, and then they released Starfield with Todd Howard. It was Todd Howard that said it, so my brain should have connected the dots here and gone, well, no, he's lying. He's clearly lying. But Todd Howard coming out. No. Microsoft have had loads of input into this game. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They had a hands-off approach with you as well, didn't they, Todd?
Yeah.
Didn't they, Todd?
Yeah.
And we also know that they're going to have a hands-off approach with on whatever game comes out that Activision Blizzard come out with, because I don't think Microsoft know how to have an actual hands-on approach.
I don't think Microsoft now know how to actually make games.
Or at least Phil Spencer definitely doesn't, because Phil Spencer doesn't even understand the market.
Which is very disappointing for a game company that gave us Halo, Gears of War,
mm-hmm.
And a whole bunch of other stuff that
well, to be fair,
you
can't have the person in charge of your company saying, "Oh yeah, if we release good games, that's not going to change the dial." That's literally
whose
happens.
argument to buy Activision Blizzard was
we're shit.
our game. It's okay. We can buy it because our games are shit.
That's right. It'll be fine.
I mean, one that is literally basically throwing all your other developers under the bus, but also means you have no standards of actual quality, which means Activision Blizzard won't get better. But also on the other, back to BlizzCon being cancelled, I do feel sorry for those that were planning on going, because a lot of people meet up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there are people who probably haven't seen each other since last BlizzCon.
This does suck for the fans. This does suck. But at the end of the day, even then, I think, like you said, I think at the end of the day, the people that would have gone would probably have not enjoyed it.
Probably not, no.
I think they wouldn't have enjoyed it. I think cancelling BlizzCon this year is probably the best idea.
Because I do wonder if they did go ahead with it and then showed nothing.
Exactly. It probably would be better off if somebody just did
how the fan base would have reacted, because I think it would have been. I don't think it would have been anger. I think it would have been genuine concern of they've got nothing. All they have is Overwatch, Diablo, and World of Warcraft. Yeah. That's it. They don't have anything else. There's nothing new coming. There's no direction. There's no vision. We're fucked. The company's fucked. And I am worried. The problem is also, though, because they've cancelled it, I think that's the message that's coming out anyway. Activision Blizzard is fucked.
Yeah.
All they have is what is already out.
All they've got is COD.
Yeah. And the latest COD has gone down so... I mean, yes, obviously the casuals have bought it in droves again. But the problem is that they're going to run out of casuals.
Yeah, eventually they're going to run out of casuals. Because there's other games now coming out that, in my opinion at least, they're better than COD.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, this is what really sucks, is because, COD... This COD and the last COD, Modern Warfare 2, they're not good. They're passable. Well, 3's not passable. 2 was passable.
Yeah.
2 was passable.
2 was okay.
A 6 out of 10.
2 was okay. Right. The saving grace for 2 was mostly the campaign and the fact that the character.
No, I played. Played 2. I played the campaign for 2. That campaign does not save that game.
The actual campaign... No, what I'm saying is the actual campaign is not great, but the actual character development is really, really good.
I will give it that. But no, the campaign is terrible.
Modern Warfare 3 is an absolute abomination.
Yeah.
It is an absolute disgusting level of...
This is
unacceptable crap.
The disappointing thing on the EA side is that this was a perfect moment for Battlefield to come into its own.
Oh, yeah.
And they absolutely fluffed it.
Yeah.
And so now, because we've had a genre of game that has been dominated by COD and Battlefield, we've got nothing.
No, that's very true.
In that space, there's nothing there because
in the first person. Well,
not the first person shooter. What I mean is what COD is and what.
Yeah, the military shooter.
The military shooter, because first person. There's a lot of decent first person shooters out there.
Yeah, because if you start looking at other military shooters, you've got
your much more realistic ones.
Yeah,
and that's not that is a much more niche.
Yeah, there's the casual military shooter. There's not that many anymore. Which is a shame, but also understandable because
because everybody bought COD.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point in going up against that? But yeah, it's back to Blizzard. Blizzard cancelling BlizzCon. It's probably for the best. It sucks for fans that probably wanted to go, but at the end of the day, like we said, they really don't have anything to show.
No.
So.
But again, I think they've done it because they haven't got anything to show, and the message coming out of a BlizzCon with nothing to show would be very negative.
Yeah.
But I also think it's one of those lose-lose situations. They cancel it, it sends out the same message sort of thing.
Yeah.
And So I just think it's going to be a rough few months, if not a couple of years now, for Blizzard fans at least, because there's nothing I've seen from Diablo 4 that makes me think it's going to survive the launch of Path of Exile 2. Because it's done an awful lot of stuff to alienate its own fan base.
It's going to have to be some DLC size. Like, it's...
I know, but the problem is that they've alienated so much of their own fan base. Like, and Path of Exile 2 is literally going, hey guys, just hold on. When I come out, I'll welcome you. You won't even have to pay.
But we want to actually release a finished game.
Yeah, we'll release a finished game, and you won't have to pay for us. And then you can play it, and if you like us, then we've got a shop that you can buy stuff from us. Unlike Diablo 4, which asks for $70 up front, gives you a lackluster end game, and still demands game level of price for single costumes.
Yeah.
Dear God. So I'm worried about Diablo 4 that it's not going to survive Path of Exile 2.
Right, Diablo 4. I think
it will.
I think that because they've said there's a DLC coming, I think it's going to get one DLC.
I think it won't die, but I think that it will literally not be anywhere near what it could have been easily.
No, what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Overwatch
is a joke. It's a joke.
It's in a joke, and at the moment, currently, it is in a don't want to say meta-wise, but in a like development balancing way. It seems to be in a corner that there does not seem to be a way out, and that's a bad thing because you'll get more people leaving it. And then WoW, it has the free expansions. What they've announced seems interesting and exciting, especially for WoW players. But they've been hyped up and burnt before, and like I said, there were people who were probably in the driving seats of those expansions who aren't there anymore. And there's not many positive things around that company at the moment. And while I did not expect Microsoft to change everything overnight when they bought the company, I would expect Microsoft to add more positivity, to like encourage better stuff, and
it just doesn't. No.
And nothing's happened. It's as if Microsoft hasn't bought the company.
I think Microsoft have come in thinking that, we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, and then they've seen the absolute mess.
And they've probably seen the mess, and they've realised... The part of me thinks that, like, they're like, okay, we bought Activision Blizzard. We bought Activision Blizzard.
We've bought the Titanic after...
For COD.
Yeah.
And we've not realised...
that it's the Titanic that hit an iceberg.
Yeah, and it's hit an iceberg. And
I do wonder if Modern Warfare 3 was delivered by Bobby Kotick as the final spiteful FU.
Probably. It probably was.
From that petty little man.
But the thing is, Microsoft's way of doing things isn't... Like, they're not...
It's not helping.
They're not a competitive company. They've never been a competitive company. Their way of competing is to buy them.
Yeah,
that is how they've been
Microsoft
for years.
Microsoft has and always will want a monopoly. It's the only way they've worked. And
it's been like that for them for years, and I think they've gotten into the game sphere. They did well with the Xbox 360 because I think they realised they got into the gaming section and realised, okay, so we can't do what we normally do.
Yeah, we're going to have to actually
have to compete. And so they started off with the Xbox. The Xbox was fine. It probably didn't do as well as they wanted it to do. But it's the first
console. It did well.
It's fine. Xbox 360 did really, really well, and it did gangbusters, and everybody loved it. And then Microsoft did what Microsoft do, and it's what a lot of especially tech. So what a lot of Western companies do, and Japanese did this way back when. They don't do it as much anymore, at least.
They seem to have learned their lesson.
They seem to have learned their lesson. But Western companies do this a lot, where they they take the top spot, and then they start taking the piss with what they do, and then it backfires on them, and then and Microsoft's that company that, I mean, Microsoft are known for breaking contracts in other countries and just basically paying it off, and then getting away with basically doing bullshit, because they can pay the fines.
I mean, they've been hounded over air courts all over the world, in America as well. Like, when you get done in America for monopolization and anti-consumer, you know you've fucked up,
right? And I think this was the start of Microsoft's like, right, okay, we're not beating Sony on consoles.
Well,
they are smashing our faces into the ground.
I think the problem with that,
we're not even beating Nintendo, right? And so I think Microsoft has basically gone, okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are just going to buy.
We're going to buy all the developers.
We're going to buy all the developers, and we'll do it that way, because we can't buy Sony. No. Sony aren't going to, and we can't buy Nintendo, because if we buy Nintendo, people will be pissed.
Yeah,
it's not a good look.
No,
right. So let's buy developers. Let's buy the Western developers. The slight problem here is that the Western developers for the past 10 years, mainly in the AAA, the Western developers have not been hitting.
No,
a lot of misses.
Yeah,
a lot of misses.
Well, it's because they've been shrinking their IPs that they actually use. But also, they're throwing more money into it, and they're having more oversight, and it's again more issued by made by committee. And instead of focusing on what makes that IP enjoyable, they go, well, it needs to make money, so put this in and that in. And oh, by the way, if we don't, because we've thrown this much money into it, if it doesn't do well, we are closing everyone down. And how are you creative in that sort of oppressive thing?
But because of this, because obviously, clearly buying Activision Blizzard has not worked.
No.
Because basically what has happened is, although their revenue is up, they're not selling Xboxes.
No.
They're not. No one's buying it. Still, nobody's buying an Xbox.
No.
They're actually lower. They've actually gone lower.
Yeah, they had a blip for Starfield, where it went up, and then people played Starfield.
And realised that
it's gone back down. I think also the whole thing about Microsoft being the top dog at the end of the 360 PS3 era, I think you're right. They did the usual Western thing. I think they underestimated Sony as well. Yeah. I think they thought Sony are...
no, Microsoft did what Microsoft did. They got to the top position and just thought, oh, well, we've done it now, so it's fine. We can do whatever we want, because that's what they've done in everything else.
Yes. And like we said, I think people don't understand... A lot of people don't understand that Sony is a very petty company.
Yeah, they are.
They are in the gaming industry... Not because they wanted to go into the game. Well, technically yes, but in another sense, no. They
didn't solely want to be in the gaming industry.
They are in the game. Like, the PlayStation exists because Sony and Nintendo were going to make a CD console for Nintendo, and Nintendo turned around and went, "Nah, we don't want to do this anymore, dude."
We're not doing
and
this.
Sony, being the petty company that it is, went, "Fine, we'll make our own console, and it'll be better than yours."
Fuck you.
And so the Sony PlayStation got released.
Yeah.
And then Sega went, we're going to make a better CD game console. We're going to call it the Dreamcast. We're going to have internet connectivity. And then Sony went, fuck you, we're making the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the PlayStation came out before the Dreamcast. But anyway, Sony literally took the PlayStation 2 and smashed Sega's face in so bad with it that Sega are now a publisher and no longer a console maker.
Yeah. Also, there's a reason why it took so long for the prices of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X to come out, because everybody knows Sony were just like, well, no, we're just going to wait for Microsoft to announce their price, and Sony were literally just going to wait. They were going to wait until the end of time if they needed to.
Microsoft could have waited till the day before the Xbox Series X released to announce the price. Sony would have delayed their launch of the console by a day to undercut them.
Yeah.
Like, Sony have a history of doing this.
They're very, very
all
petty.
the way back to the very first PlayStation, when the owner of Atari, was it Atari? Yeah, with the Jaguar, and he said, "Oh, you can't have a console lower than $500." And the Sony CEO came out. I think he said $450 or something stupid like that, and then walked off.
Yeah.
The literal E3 version of a mic drop. So yeah, Sony are that type of company. They will literally, just out of spite, undermine their opposition.
It's kind of admirable though, for Sony. Yeah. It's something to remind of the fact that, like,
I mean, it's a dick ass.
You are that petty that you literally go full circle.
Yeah.
Like, I can't not like you because, like, it's ridiculous how petty you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we should end it. Yeah. We've gone on a little bit too much.
We've gone on a little bit of tangent. But Activision Blizzard, I am concerned, but hopefully
it is what it is.
Hopefully they can turn the ship around. I just don't see how. But I'm not a CEO of a major corporation, so I don't know.
True.
So that's way above my pay
although
grade.
to be fair, I think major CEOs of most major corporations aren't actually CEOs of major corporations.
Well, they're not. They don't have the intelligence or knowledge to be able to be those positions.
That's what I mean.
Somehow they're there.
Yeah.
I'm on about, like, management. Like,
I'm just talking about Phil Spencer.
Yeah, Phil Spencer again.
He knows somebody. He either knows something about somebody or he knows somebody. There is no way that man got into that position on his ability to do anything.
No.
For the things that come out of that man's mouth is absolutely, like, I generally look at him and, like, you know how I look at Todd Howard and go, "You're a liar."
Yeah.
I look at Phil Spencer and go, "You're a fucking idiot. What is wrong with you?"
I'm just gonna say to every Xbox fan,
I'm sorry.
To when they go, why is Xbox why is Xbox struggling so hard? Why is it just, the Game Pass and nothing else works? I'll just go, well, your CEO is Phil Spencer,
and he's a moron, and
that's all I need to put.
I mean, our like Sony CEO for the PlayStation. I mean, he's not much. I mean, he is. He's smart. He's a dick.
Yeah. He's still, Sony still come out with we think live services are the future. No, stop it. Just
please stop.
But they seem to have enough people in other positions of decision making to be able to stop that from being the only thing that happens. Same with Square Enix as well. They seem to just put CEOs and who want.
No. Square Enix is different.
Square
Enix have Yoshi P, and so therefore, like, they do bad shit. And then Yoshi P shows up and goes, "Look, we're really sorry. It's okay. Don't worry. I got this. I got you, bro." And everyone's like, "Okay, we trust Yoshi P."
we trust Yoshi P. No one else.
We don't trust anybody else.
Yoshi P has graced everyone an extra week
of Elden Ring
so that they can play the DLC for Elden Ring. He's given players of Final Fantasy XIV a week to play Elden Ring. I mean, granted, probably may need more than a week. But at least he's given us that.
Yeah, at least he's done that.
He's a generous guy.
Everybody
on that note,
yeah, we should go. I do hope you've enjoyed this chat, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.
Toodles.